Alright, welcome back to Pillars of Eternity. This is Zombie Pleasure, and we are on video 4. When we last left off, we explored this little humble area, and I died at the end thinking I could cure this monster of a bear that took me down in a few hits because I actually went back and watched. Combat happened so fast for me that when that bear that's a strong bear. That's a strong bear. Very strong bear. We went to the ruins and we almost passed up this location, but we went back and it was the bandit camp and we actually saved the cook there. So now we're gonna go on and hopefully make it to the actual village itself. And there we go, we sure can. So Gilded Vale has been, it's gonna take us 8 hours, wow. How that sickness has not killed us yet, I do not know. Most creatures will detect a character just after they appear at the edge of the fog of war. To sneak up on an enemy, use scouting mode. The fog of war. So I have discovered a tasty treat. It is called Del Monte Fruit Burst. It's like a fruit puree type deal, and I am digging these things. They're like Go-Gurts, but no dairy in them that's going to kill me. Alright, girl. We have made it to a village. And that poor woman is dead. I'm sad. I would have kept him in my party at least. Okay.
You must be one of the new settlers. Welcome to Gilded Vale. You'll be pleased to know that we've had some recent vacancies here.
He glances at the gnarled, leafless monstrosity of a tree next to him. I feel at home already.
Of course, we'll need to make some inquiries first. The inestimable Lord Radric VII has taken great pains to insulate our town from Widewind's legacy. Have you ever conceived a Hollowborn child?
What are you talking about?
An infant born without a soul, of course. Lord Radric has made it his first priority to eliminate this scourge from our village. I should warn you, stranger. Here in Gilded Vale, we have a special place for dissidents, charlatans, and those who would hide a curse in our midst.
He steps to the side and inclines his head ever so slightly towards the deformed tree.
His lordship's wife is with child and due any day now. Without his approval, I shan't be able to find you a permanent settlement. It will have to wait until after the birth. We can continue our interview then, after the bell tolls from Radric's hold to signal my lord's new heir. In the meantime, you can find temporary accommodations at the inn, just southwest of here.
You said something about Hollowborn and Widewind's legacy before? He blinks. I forget that you foreigners do not know this curse in your homelands. The Hollowborn have been a scourge upon the dire woods. For almost 15 years now, he whispers. His voice lowers to a whisper. Children born without souls. He shakes his head. Pitiful dumb things that breathe, barely, but do not truly live. Some say the Hollowborn are a disease. Some say they are punishment from the gods. He raised his empty hands. In truth, no one knows. But they begin spreading after the Saints' War, and so the name Widewind's legacy stuck in honor of that foul, blasphemous pretender. His voice shakes with vitriol. I see. Lord Radric's decree may seem strict at times, but he has our best interest at heart, he nods. If you have any other questions, don't hesitate to ask. It is important that everyone in Gilded Vale understands our rules. Blah, blah, blah. Before I got here, I saw several people conducting a strange ceremony near some ruins. He regards you carefully. You'll want to mind where you mentioned that. Trespassing on Iquithon ruins is illegal, not to mention dangerous. You probably saw someone attempting some new ritual to appease the gods. People will try anything these days. Barath have mercy. We certainly have. Maybe so. Look, like I said, it's best to stay away from those sorts of places. I've been feeling strange ever since a close call with a biowac. Is there someone in town who could help?
Whatever your problem, it sounds like a matter for an animancer. However, the only animancer in Gilded Vale isn't in any condition to speak. Consider yourself fortunate. After she failed Lord Radric, we saw to it that she wouldn't profit from the misplaced trust of others. A bad cure is often worse than none at all.
What a fucking dick.
But if you're set on finding a bottle of troll piss or a dead Audra pebble to rub on your forehead, you're welcome to check her pockets. A little corpse stink is nothing when you're digging for shit. My advice, however, is to be satisfied that you escaped and leave it at that. Keep out of...
Listen!
2 tolls. Let that be the last.
3. Gods have mercy.
It seems your arrival is ill-timed. 3 bells toll only for the death of a Radric. I fear Lord Radric's heir is lost, or else Hollowborn, and so lost all the same. You should tread carefully. Circumstances have changed a great deal.
I won't threaten him right now. What do you mean? You've come to us at a time of mourning. The legacy is struck at the heart of Gilded Val. Our efforts to redeem ourselves in the eyes of the Barath must be redoubled. He sets a steady gaze on you. What happened? He shrugs one bony shoulder. I will know more detail when the messengers arrive. The vagaries of childbirth, perhaps, but that is not your concern. Does this affect Lord's offer to new settlers? I can be sure of nothing right now. I advise you to get some rest, the inn, or a stable for all I care. Find me afterwards. I will know more soon enough. Varel. Sorry, I'm just not going to sit here and threaten this dude. Not yet.
Hey there.
Come, girl.
Were you looking for someone in that tree? I could introduce you.
Strange way to talk about your dead. He looks up at the tree and breathes out. Half the town's up there now, seems like. No right way to talk about it. I'm looking for someone who can help me feel better. He gives an understanding nod as he takes a long drag from his pipe. My condolences. He exhales and turns his attention away, watching the village around him. Scattered between the roots are bracelets of twine and bead, wilting flowers and notes of half erased by the rain. How depressing that you would hang people. Hollowborn? How truly horrible would you have to be to do such? That's so monstrous. Good God. Maybe close. Hush, are you mad? Leave it for indoors. Careful if you head east. Guards patrol the eastern wood, but not the Black Meadows. How depressing. And there's a god's blood. As you near, you feel a vibrant history contained in the essence of this man's soul. Voices from its past seem to call out to you. You reach out for the soul. You see a pendant waving tall and sluggish in the winds, a rising sun embroidered on the banner, the vanguard of a small troop of paladins. The atmosphere is buoyant, if restrained, and their armor has not yet been tarnished by the elements. This expedition is fresh, young, filled with zest and zeal. At their head stands the commander, awkward in full armor, but determined in step. Despite the excitement of his fellows, he does not smile. There's a twist to his mouth, his countenance grim. He throws up a hand, halting his troops. Silence falls among them, revealing a dark thunder, deep and low. He orders them to ready their weapons and spread out. Eyes dart from horizon to horizon, necks twisting to see the source of the sound. In the distance, dust and lightning rise from the ground as Stygian clouds race towards them overhead. The soldiers stand, only the staccato movement of their breath betraying their nerves. The commander closes his eyes, calling a blessing down on his troops. Invigorated, invincible, they wait as the enemy draws closer, poised to attack. Okay, so apparently we have gained the ability to read into certain people's souls. I saw someone go into the temple. Papa says we're not supposed to. Not supposed to. Ooh, something's tickling. Is that what that is? Is this the temple? Probably. Someone's heard. Hello? Who's there? A man lies resting against the wall, lit by the dim illumination of a fading sconce. He has a gaunt, fox-like aspect, and his face is pale and damp with sweat. One arm is held loosely against his side, sleeves soaked with blood. He gives you an anxious glance as you near, his features twisted with pain.
How do you do?
Ha! Thought you were some... Never mind. Who are you? You've traveled a long way to reach a dark place. The temple isn't what it used to be, probably for the best. Times being as they are. Ugh. Shifting position and wincing. I'm no looter, if that's what you're thinking. Not one of the faithful either. Just wanted to do some good, I suppose. Got my arm clawed up for it. He regards you warily. Maybe you'd have better luck. Better luck with what happened to you? I'm trying to avoid the spiders, he breaths a quiet laugh. Ran into a scolder. Might have gone a little better for me if the beast hadn't knocked the sword right out of my hand. Good blade, too. Probably still lying there in the dusk. He smiles warily. But I'm not, so that's alright. It's not a bad wound, I think. Just hurts. I could go get your sword for you. That's kind of you, but there's no need. It wasn't doing me any good. You're welcome to it, though, if you find it. And more if you help me get something more important. With the arm like this, I could use your help. The man points a finger upwards. These ruins around us used to be Temple of Eothas, the scattered god. A grand temple at that. His worshippers would come from all over the Direwood, from Red Cirrus even. Ethos. Until the war, of course. Even then, you'd get some of the stubborn ones. The ones that couldn't get in through their heads that their god was dead and gone. See, I kind of wish they wouldn't include this right here. Like, okay, you didn't pick that, so you don't get to select it. I don't want to know what I'm missing out on. Go on. Lord Radric allowed them to worship? Lord Radric was clear out the place from time to time, make a rest. It wasn't until the legacy that he started, losing patience. He sent his guards in to put the priest to the sword, bring the place down, burn some of the books, and that was that. He looks away. What's the legacy? Sir Wadwin's legacy, the man that housed the scattered god at a time. Lord Radric fought in that one. When they brought the god down, we had a celebration here in town. We thought things would never be better. Started some time after that, the disease or whatever it is, children being born without the stuff that makes them truly alive, just empty shells, and their mothers screaming and crying. It's destroyed us. Gilded Veil, I mean. The thinking is it's Waden's having a last laugh. Strikes me as a little petty, even for a dead god. He smiles thinly. But Lord Radric believes it, and that's all that matters. Once the legacy started, Lord Radric decided he'd been too lenient on the Athosians. He had the people go in and put them to the sword, left them down there, buried, under a heap of rock. After that, Radric ordered the temple sealed. It's been years like that, up until recently. Lord Radric hoped that if we rededicated the temple to a living god, then we'd be forgiven, and the legacy will end, see? He smiles wearily. But until then, the temple is as you see it, unguarded. That's where you come in. He licks his lips. Those priests, maybe they didn't have a lick of sense between them, but they still didn't deserve to go like that, chopped down in their god's house. It doesn't sit right with me. If you get down there, find their remains. Maybe we could give them a proper burial. Werton breathes out. No small task. There's a coin in it for you if you need motivating. I have some questions first. Yes. Why can't you do it yourself? Well, I tried. Only got a short way in before I got in over my head. Weirton grimaces. I haven't raised a blade in a long time. Turns out it isn't something you can just pick up again. But you look like you can handle yourself. And who are you anyways? Weirton offers you a weak grin. Name's Weirton. I live in Gilded Vale long enough to remember how grand it used to be. He shrugs, looks away. I used to help the temple sometimes, bring supplies, that's all. Won't Lord Radric mind us digging around down here? I wouldn't go telling him about it, lingering in these places. It's no good for anyone. But you do this quick and quiet, and we can do right by those priests without raising a fuss. What's this legacy? The man that housed Okay, we've done read that. Any chance there's something down there worth a little more than some old bones? Unless around, probably. Nobody's been through the place since it was sealed up. Well, apart from me. I didn't touch anything. Any valuables in there, you get first crack at them. I only ask that you do this favor for me while you're at it. I have no more questions. Then, what do you say? I'll find them. Then by the flames I owe you a good turn. But listen, the temple's been sealed off for so long it's crawling with creatures. But if you get past them, the priests would have been down on the lower floor. They'll all be there still if they're there anyways. Those priests had all kinds of secret chambers. Switches in the walls, trick sconces, the kind of thing. Keep an eye out, and then take care down there. I wouldn't want to send somebody else after your remains. I'll wait here by the stairs and keep a lookout. Maybe try to patch myself up some. Well, first, I'm going to go back up there, because I want to find holy hell, it's getting hot in here. The inn, and sell my goodies, and maybe get some better gear or armor. So not much in the way of this. Come now, girl. I'm so ready for fall. Where is the inn, huh? Map much? Let's see. Indrids, Windmill, Black Hammer, Sanctuary, Smithery. There's the inn. Come, girl. Let's go this way. There will be much to explore and do in due time. Note to self, play Let's Plays in early morning. Do the rest late day. Aloth. You see 4 people gathered by the door to the inn. Their raised voices and chopping gestures suggest an argument reaching its climax. The first figure raises his hand for calm. His face is partially obscured by a hood, but his height and stature suggests an elf.
I meant no offense. Let's put this matter to rest over a round, shall we? My treat.
Hoping to soothe our pride with a few Adira coppers, eh? We don't need your coin.
What's going on? One of the other men points at the hooded elf. His eyes are red from drink, but his gaze is focused, mocking us even while he shelters in our village. Just goes to show you these fancy Aedir type manners are worth. We don't take to that kind of treatment, not from foreigners, especially not from Eredrins.
Go on. Say it again. I'm itching for an excuse.
Fie, you're itching for the kindling touch of your sister, you cocksfeather!
I'll cut that barrel-licking tongue out of your head.
This is a misunderstanding. I didn't say whatever it is you think I said. We've nigh quarrel.
Something Shirley? Okay, so he's got a double personality?
That's where you're wrong.
This is unnecessary. Wouldn't you rather be inside drinking than out here arguing? We don't want your cherry either, foreigner. It sounds suspiciously like you're defending them. Oh! I suppose I am. Have at me then. That didn't suck for you.
Hey there.
Shoot him. As the last attacker falls, the elf turns to you, the tension almost gone from his smooth face.
Not quite how I hoped to get to know the neighbors. Thank you for your timely assistance with that awkward situation.
You mean for slaughtering them? You're welcome.
Well, that is one way of putting it.
He straightens his head, and you note the remains of a frayed embroidery on his glove. His boots are caked with the dirt of many months' travel, but the leatherwork beneath it is sturdy and fine.
I suppose introductions are in order after that little fiasco. Aloth Corvusser, at your service.
You better have more to say for yourself than that. How'd you manage to get stuck out here? He laughs uncomfortably. Ha. That is something of a long story.
I'm a wizard by training, and an adventurer by necessity. I was born in the Seathwood, part of the mainland of the Adir Empire, and both of my parents served the nobility, which afforded me an education for which I am grateful. However, there were no open positions in those houses, and so I decided to seek new means in a new land.
I'm calling bullshit. That one voice of yours sounded pretty crazy.
And how exactly did you come to be here?
I was traveling with a caravan, but we were separated near some ruins.
In Gwithan ruins? Oh, those can be dangerous places during the best of times, which these are not. In half the locals would arrest you for trespassing, and the rest would kill you outright. I'm curious, what exactly did you find there?
Several hooded figures operating a strange machine. Goggles at you silently, apparently assessing your earnestness. Finally, he gives you a clipped, awkward laugh. Ha! Ha!
You do manage to find yourself in rather interesting predicaments.
Just how did you manage to cross those three drunks?
I'm afraid that was a matter of misunderstandings and mistranslations. It doesn't help that people in these parts remember their war with Adir like it was yesterday.
You did make a rather lewd suggestion regarding one of the aggressors and his own sister. Ah, that. As I tried to tell them, they misheard me. Happens all too easily for a few pints, and the accent doesn't help. I heard the same thing. For just a moment, he looks as if he's about to say something else. His expression brightens with mischief, but before he can speak, he forces a tight smile. Biting his lips so hard you expect to see blood. Finally, his face relaxes and he shakes his head. I should speak more clearly next time. My apologies. What are you doing in Gilded Vale?
An excellent question. I came looking for fresh air and cheap land. Instead, the magistrate gave me directions to the inn and a story about the local lord's expectant wife. But I take it that's a familiar tale.
And you? I've been experiencing strange things of late. I'm looking for an expert on souls.
Indeed. The local lord has searched far and wide for similar specialists. He has rid himself of them almost as desperately.
His darting glance takes in the tumbled-down building and the fallow, rock-strewn fields. I expect that such expertise would be best sought elsewhere. You don't exactly look like a settler.
Begging your pardon, but neither do you. Yet, circumstances can find a person in the strangest of places.
I should get going.
As should I, given recent events. It's just as well. I've had enough of the watered wine and lumpy beds at the inn. They say even the owner tired of the place. Just up and left one day. It explains quite a lot about the upkeep. Perhaps I could join you. I could use a change of scenery, and I find it's better to travel in numbers.
So do I. Let's go then.
Excellent. I shall follow you.
And like that, we got a party
Hey there.
member. Cools. And
Sure.
he's all naked. I want to get into... Whoa, that was careful. I almost said the wrong thing there. I'm curious to get into his type of personality. What makes him tick? Villager. Yawn. There we go.
Good day, stranger.
Pasca. Hello and welcome to the innkeeper looks. Oh, it's you. Tinfrith told us what you did for him. It's such a relief to have him back. I can't thank you enough. Consider yourself a favorite of the house. Discounts on drinks, rooms. Tinfrith said he wanted to whip up something nice for you. He's already back to work in the kitchen, she laughs. So, what would you like? Gotta see what you have for sale. I'm sure you'll find something you're liking. We have finest cook in the dry wood. In total. Cool. Yay. We got camping supplies, and those things are not very, very cheap, so we'll keep that in mind. give you this. Light armor. Simple clothing. Not really worth much, is it? I'll keep the lockpicks, and I'm gonna keep this. Not much in the way of beer. Where's my stash? Hold on to those. Meh, 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 meh. Hood. Cape. I'll keep the ingredients. Except, let's trade for that. Okay, got ourselves some money. Okay. So let's see what you got, huh? Pretty much everything I just gave you, huh? Potion of minor endurance. Holy crap, potions are expensive. What does milk do? +6 max endurance for 10 seconds, 1 constitution. An odorous crumbly wedge of cheese, perfect for luring rats and dinner guests alike. Oh, and milk. So food's good for you, I take it. Darkest row Thai cookies. Stew +5 max health for 150 seconds. I think I'll take those. For now. +10, and we'll take the savory pie. So we have some foods on us. Ooh, and I has leveled it up. Okay, so here's this stuff again. Oh, I don't know what to pick. I don't like having options like this. It requires 3. Pump stealth up. I don't know if she'll be our little lockpick. So right now what we're sitting at. Use level 1 scrolls. Point for you. Do I want to pump up her stealth? Nah. I'll let someone else be our little scout. Let's pump our survival up too. Mechanics would be nice. I don't know how I feel. We might pump mechanics up and just pass on that. Okay, so I get class unlocks up here now. Oh, so those are automatically. So that's it. So what, prior, was that just her base stats or something? You don't affect them? Huh. If I had known that, I probably would have been a little bit more careful with how I positioned my points.
Hey there.
Alright. Wow. Let's go talk to our dear elf.
Sure.
Ah, it's you, my savior. He makes a sweeping gesture to indicate the kitchen around you. It's so good to be back. Don't think I'll let this go unrewarded. I've decided that you have earned the right to learn one of my most closely guarded secrets, my dearest recipe. After this, you will eat nothing else. The party has gained a recipe, savory pie. Savory pie to keep you hale and hearty. May it serve you well in your travels. Cool. Can I talk to you, though? I will name a dish in your honor. I'm sure you will. Spoons hanging from the fire, coated in brownish gunk. Oh, stealing. No. I'll need more wine. Something exotic and a little
friend.
dangerous. I could use some reliable help. Do you know anyone looking for work? Oh, well, I wouldn't say I can speak from experience, but we do have certain sorts coming by looking for work from time to time. If you want to hire someone on, I'd be happy to send them your way. Let's see what I have to work with. A level 2 adventurer. Interesting. Okay. Lasts for 2 rest, +1 perception, and +1 mechanics. Lasts for 2 rest, +2 resolve. Inns allow characters to rest without using camping supplies. Cheap rooms are usually available, but if you have copper to spend, you may consider the more expensive option. The bonuses they provide last for a long time and affect the entire party. I think I'll do that for now. Save my coppers. That's pretty cool. The inn allows characters... Your sleep is restless and fevered, assaulted by hisses and whispers, blanketed with a suffocating anxiety. You open your eyes to awaken and find yourself in front of the gilded vow gallows tree, the creaking of its robes, growing louder in your mind until the sound is deafening. Hanging from the trees is an old dwarf woman whose face is shriveled inward like moldering fruit. Her head hangs limply to one side. As you look at her, she looms larger and larger in your mind until she's mere inches from your face. Suddenly, her head snaps up and her eyes open wide, and they are empty, and behind them is vast nothingness that makes your stomach drop. Her mouth slowly parts, and with a gust of rancid air, she speaks a word. Watcher. You jolt awake, the foul smell of the dwarf woman's breath still permeating your nostrils. Sweat runs down your face in thick droplets, and your skin is soaked from head to toe. You remember the woman. You remember seeing her decaying face while you spoke with the magistrate. He called her an animancer. Though it fills you with new queasy apprehension, you feel a strange compulsion to see the woman once more, if only to confirm she is truly dead.
Hey there.
Alright. Villager, villager. Minstrels here, let's see. Villager, villager. Orland server. Beg pardon, ma'am. Don't have much time for talking. Drunkard. Storm Brigand. Selena Vertivo. As you near, you feel a vibrant history contained in the essence of this woman's soul. Voices from its past seem to call out to you. Reach out for the soul. You see a woman emptying her satchel onto her bed, taking stock of her inventory. Potions, bandages, tinctures, and herbs are scattered throughout her room, haphazardly. She bites her lip, head tilted to the side, considering. She begins to repack one item after the other, careful deliberation undercut by shaking hands. Each item has a clearly marked place, but no matter how she repacks it, she isn't satisfied. The shaking worsens as she empties it out once more, one hand held to her mouth, tears echo from her eyes as she gives up the semblance of order and shoves everything she can into the satchel, grabbing it and running out of the bare house. Straightening her back, she walks to the docks, chin high, eyes hard and red. A gangly young elf offers his condolences, but she can't see him from the ocean ahead of her. She wanders the docks, offering her services as a doctor to any who will listen, anyone heading out on high tides. Less than an hour later, she watches her childhood disappear in the distance, a tiny speck of an island, and tries not to jump. As you near, you feel a vibrant history contained in the essence of this man's soul. Voices from its past seem to call out to you. You see a group of young men standing around a makeshift practice target. The man stands in the middle of them, explaining the construction and use of a bow. He holds it up, points out each part as he speaks about it and what it does. He then walks away from the target, telling them to remain where they are, and takes his place about 200 feet away. He carefully lines up his shot, explaining what he is doing as he does, and lets the arrow fly. It hits the target dead center, much to the surprise and delight of the boys near it. He smiles, walking towards the boys, talking about proper stance and how to most effectively hold a bow. A noise comes from the tree near the line of practice venue, and he stops, scanning the woods, blue eyes squinting against the sun. His shadow moves, making its way through the forest behind him. He draws an arrow and lines up the shot, carefully tracking the motion of the hidden creature. Loosing the arrow, he wastes no time and quickly grabs another. The boys spin, watching the arrow fly into the forest, immediately lost among the trees. There's a sudden, explosive movement in the undergrowth as a deer erupts from the tree lines, running across the edge of the clearing. The boys laugh, turning to joke with the man about his lousy shot. They stop talking, seeing him holding the bow and leading the deer with a nocked arrow. They drop to the ground as he loosens the last arrow, which flies true and strikes the deer right behind its shoulder, piercing the heart and lungs, and drops it dead almost immediately. The boys stare at the deer for a few seconds and then slowly turn to look at the man, newfound respect in their eyes. He smiles again and breathes a quiet sigh of relief. It's pretty cool. Carouser. Grab a drink, friend. Not much else worth in this time, says the woman from Thin. Hey, we said we wouldn't mention Thin. Dresslock, Shane, Shakes, Maran, Celia, Omnum. Woo! There is a lot of reading to be done here, friends. As you near a vibrant history, yeah. You see a man soar through the air, hitting a nearby wall with a nauseating crunch. He doesn't get up. His attacker, a burly, clean-cut warrior with carnivorous grin, turns and shoves his fist into the stomach of another assailant, removing another from the impromptu brawl. The bar is a whirlwind of elbows, knees, fists, and feet, with no end in sight, and he is in his element. In the corner, 3 smaller men speak quietly, throwing malicious glances at the larger man in the center. He breaks a chair over a tattooed head, cackling. The trio position themselves in 3 parts of the room, and with a terse nod they charge. Unfortunately for them, the man sees them coming. Something in his eyes burns brightly, and all 3 slump to the ground in an agony that's all in their mind. The burly man bows to a room of an unconscious incapacitated before sauntering out, off-key whistling, trailing behind him. Shane shakes Mulrain. You see an emaciated boy in chains, black holes for eyes, staring sightlessly at a wall. The man in the dark coat walks in, a scroll and an oddly shaped quill in his hand. The boy glances at him, expressionless, a corpse waiting for animation. The man clucks at him, disapproval clear in his tone. The boy stands, limbs hanging. The man takes the quill and begins to write on the boy's chest, copying sharp, angular symbols from the scroll. The child doesn't flinch as the quill digs into his skin, drawing blood as it goes. The wizard finishes with a flourish and barks some arcane command, setting the symbols to glow dully. The boy cries out, knees hitting the stone hard, his chest burning black and red. Finally the glow disappears, leaving only hard black scars etched into his skin. He slumps sideways, twitching, eyes facing the back of his skull. The wizard grunts, kicking him on the leg of his way out. The boy lies on the floor until dawn, eyes still black like holes, the twitches growing into convulsive shakes. Poor dude. So it's his history. Celia. Amen. You see a long, empty road cutting through 2 large crop fields. The air is silent and the land seems too still for her early afternoon. The woman walks slowly on the road, leading a horse, curiously looking around. She seems to sense something wrong, but is unable to discern what it is. She stops, sniffing the air, her nose high, her brows crinkle, and she casts about, looking for something. The air is clear, no clouds. She sniffs again, still looking around, confusion clouding her face, mouthing a single word. Fire? She looks out across the fields, her confusion turning to fear. She holds her hands up to block the sun from her eyes and scans the fields again. Not finding what she's looking for, she jumps into her horse's back, the fear quickly becoming panic. She kicks, sending the horse shooting down the path, which bends around some trees to where the farmhouse should be. She pulls up short, horror now in residence on her face as she stares at the burned and charred mess that used to be her family home. Tears well in her eyes as she kicks again, racing to the rubble. boy, if that ain't sad. Boy, please tell me. I've had enough of reading. Can't go off map there. Oh, and my house grows ever hotter. I think will be enough Let's Playing when we end this video. At least for this set. And guess. Please leave me be. I'm full to sickness with what I've seen of this place and its people. I can agree with you, friend. Ooh, I can't understand people who want to drink till they pass out, man. I've had one of the worst hangovers in history, and it's about put me all off liquor. Till I made my Jello shots, because oh my god, Jello shots are awesome. Let's see. We might go back to the temple and get that question done.
Good day to you.
I'd like to know more about Black Hound. Really? Well, let's see. The actual building's been here for years, but the Black Hound's fairly new. We get a lot of new faces in here too, fewer than we used to, I'll admit. Tenfrit's the big draw. I'm sure we'll get the big crowds back again in no time. I used to work the tables actually until the poor old Almer up and left. No one's sure what happened to him. He even left his poor hound behind. That's the name, see, the Black Hound. It's still sitting upstairs pining after him, poor old girl. Place ended up in my hands somehow, she laughs. My very own inn. A lot of hard work involved, but it's been worth it so far. Please, sit wherever you'd like. Would you like a drink or room? We have 2 available at the moment. I'm afraid we can't offer much by way of a good meal today, she sighs, unless you're fond of cold porridge. So the dog's upstairs? Well, dude, we're going back upstairs because I want to see this dog. Poor doggy. I like my cats better. They might not pine for me when I'm gone. Actually, when we got married, we went to Las Vegas and, cats didn't, seem to remember us when we came back. Is that stealing? Ooh, table. The Die Road, Part 1, Early Colonial History. I have had enough for reading, but if you like, I will stick this here.
I'll have it in no time.
Hold on, so how does this work? Mechanic 1. Okay.
The work of a moment.
Closet. A duelist hat.
Hey there.
We'll check out the gear next video, because right now I'm more interested in where that damn dog is.
I'll see what I can do.
Okay, so I see how it works. It gotta be like a mechanic 2 or 3. And he looks like he's got skills in mechanics, so we may look at that. So there's a door here we didn't see, huh? Okay, that just leads around back, does it? Villagers. Map. So we're here. Let's get back here. Ooh. You can level up too. I didn't notice that. Okay, so let's see. Your lore is high and so is your mechanics. So I will pump up your mechanics. You will be our lockpicker. Sounds good. Spells. Could you just pick these for me? I don't want to do this. Alright. That might actually be good for you. I think we'll do those 2 for now. No new talents. Done. And we got a whole village to check out too. Alright, so We are going to end the Let's Play here. So, I save here. So I'll do LP4. And until next time, take care.